remember, yung USAA is not loyal to the Senate President. They are loyal to the Senate and an institution. Yeah, I agree on the latter. Hindi na ito bato, but losing control in the Senate. But from a bigger perspective, it's more about the survival of the presidency of Bongbong Marcos already.
At ayun na nga ho mga kapdate, at tapos na ho ang usapin. Katapos nga na nangyari dito kay Senator Bato mga kapdate na di umano tumakas, lumipad na ho papunta ibang bansa. Ngayon dinadawit din ho ito si Senator Robin na siya daw ho ang may pakana, siya daw ang may utak, kasamahan ho ni Senator Bato na umalis dito. Dito naman mga kapdate, siyempre, ano bang expect natin dyan kay Auntie Claire Castro? Agaran naman ho siya nagkomento. Mantakin po ninyo yan, no? Basahin mo natin na sabay-sabay kasi patungkol pa rin ho ito sa pagbanat niya sa mga Duterte. Sa lahat ho ng issue mga kapdate, hindi niyo ho talaga tinitigilan ang mga Duterte. Mga kapdate, basahin mo natin na ang kailangan natin ay isang public servant na nagseservisyo sa bayan at taong bayan at hindi yung alam lang ay gumawa ng intriga at fake news. Unang-una ho sa lahat mga kapatid, balikan ho natin kung ano ho yung gustong isang pangkaso sa kanya ni Kong Leandro Lebiste. Ano nga ho ba yun? Walang iba ho kundi ang libel. Bakit to? Kasi nga mga kapatid, putak ho ng putak si Auntie Claire Castro sa kanyang vlog. Wala naman ho siyang sapat na ebidensya, puro paninirang puri pa ho ang ginagawa niya. Tapos sasabihin niya ngayon na nag-iintriga, fake news ang ginagawa ni VP Sara. Mas nakakahiya sa ngayon ang magkomento pa sa mga walang basyan at walang sustansyang pahayag ni VP Sara Duterte. Mantagin po ninyo yan. Si VP Sara Duterte pa ho ang sinasabihan niya ng fake news at intriga. Ganyan ho kakapal ang pagmumuka nitong tatalakera ng Malacanang. Mantagin po ninyo, lahat po na nagiging issue ngayon sa flood control, si Auntie Claire na nananahimik po yan. Meron ho ba siyang binuksan? Meron ho ba siyang tinalakay patungkol ho dyan? Yung pagdawit ng amo niyang ngagba sa flood control, nilaglag siya ni Saldico. Nilaglag siya ng 18 ex-marines. Marami na hong nagdawit sa amo niyang ngagba. Tapos hindi lang ho yan, si Dean Chase pa yung mga issue nilang matitinding iskandal. Si Mr. Tubig, naalala niyo ho ba yun? May kinomento ho ba dyan si Auntie Claire Castro? Wala ho. Pero pagdating ho sa Duterte, kahit panahon pa ho ng Kastila yan mga kapatid, kakalkalin at kakalkalin niya ho iyan. Ganun ho yung patindi, di ba? Meron pa lubas noon yung nakaraang araw, yung sa PGMN. Meron ho siyang litrato kasama yung mga Duterte. Pero yung litrato ng amo niyang agba na bago-bago pa lang ho, nakipag-party-party pa, hindi niya ho yan sinasabi. Nananahimik ho siya daan. Ganyan ho katindi yan si Auntie Claire Castro. Kasi sino ho ba'y maniniwala dyan? May mga naniniwala pa rin ho dyan kay Auntie Claire Castro, yung mga kalibel ho ng utak niya. Yung kaya niya hong utuin. Pero tayo hong may mga utak, mga kabit, may mga common sense. Wala hong maniniwala dyan. Sasabihin niya, fake news si VP Sara. Siya nga itong kinasuhan ng libel, cyber libel. Di ba? Tapos sasabihin niya itong si Sara Duterte intriga. Hindi lang yan ang ating pag-uusapan kasi dito mga kapit, si Senator Bato pa rin. Nandito pa rin ho tayo sa mainit na issue ng ating bansa. Ayan o, the PNP says they will not arrest Bato because they don't have a warrant issued by local court. Thank you, General Nartates. Kung totoo man ho itong sinabi ni General Nartates, mga kapdi, maganda ho yan. Good news ho para sa ating mga katulad na sumusuporta kay Senator Bato. Pero oras na lumabas na naman ito si Senator Bato, tapos gumawgaw na naman ito si General Nartates. Kasi mga kapdi, kung hindi ho natin kilala itong si Nartates, ginawa hong 4-star general ni Marcos Jr. yan. Tingnan na lang ho natin kung totoo nga ho ba itong sinabi ni Miss Kitty Chu ni Nartates na hindi aarestuhin si Senator Bato dahil nga wala daw siyang warrant sa local court. Tingnan ho natin kung totoo. Kaya ang mangyari ho dito, tingin natin kung totoong hindi talaga makikialam itong PNP, NBI versus PNP. Kasi itong NBI mga kapatid, naging parang nagtitake over na ho dyan sa gobyerno. Parang sila ho talaga yung pinakamataas at pinupuri-puri ngayon. Kasi di ba nakita naman na ho natin yung nilabas na statement ni Senator Amy. Si BBM ang nagpapasok ng NBI kahit sino mamatay basta mahuli sino? Senator Bato de la Rosa. Yan ho yung pinakamalaking issue dyan. Kaya tingnan ho natin kung magkikialam nga ho ba talaga ito si General Nortates. Kaya mga direkta na ho tayo, pag-usapan pa rin ho natin kung nasaan si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Nasaan nga ba? Nasa ibang bansa ba? O nandyan sa tabi-tabi lang. Kaya mga direkta na ho tayo. Kung bago na kayo sa ating channel, isang like, isang share, isang subscribe lang ho. Malaking tulong na yan. Kaya dito na lang ho tayong paligoy-ligoy pa.
Para formal, no, yung kanilang pagtatalakayan diyan sa plenaryo, kasi nga to preserve the dignity of the institution. And if you notice, even Tito Soto voted for Alan Peter Cayetano as Senate President. So ngayon, yun ang nangyayari. Na eventually talagang ang tawag diyan is the sunk cost fallacy, na they have invested so much on this they wanted to pursue na lang talaga na arestuhin si Bato. Di ba? So ngayon, ang ginamit nilang instrumento, just like Tory was used doon sa KOGC at sa rendition ni PRRD, ito namang si Matibag na yung pinaka head stuntman ngayon ng administrasyon na ito. No? Again, coming from the point of view na para may plausible deniability yung leadership. Kasi tingnan mo si John Vic, no? At yung hepe ng PNP, 'di ba? Sila yung parang good cop at bad
Yes.
Matibag at ang NBI, no?
Mm.
Pero ang hindi nila finorsi, ang hindi nila nakita, kung gaano katatag itong bagong OSAA. Si retired police Major General Mau Aplasca. Grabe yung nakita ko yung interview niya with Karen Davila and Alvin El Chico. Oo, grabe, pero ang galing talagang trabaho lang. As an institution, no?
Magaling sa tao, no?
Tama, no? So ngayon, they have secured enough votes already. Kasi naging 13-9-2. Now, ewan ko ano yung rason ni Bato na umalis na siya. So, nagiging 12-9-2 na lang. But then again, they have
Bit-bit niya ba yung boto niya, kuya? Para sabihin mong 12-9-2 na lang?
It's bit niya on a leadership change dahil you have to be present for a roll call vote to change the leadership, no? Na ngayon, there are talks na they will mount another Senate co, no? Pero mahirap na yan because what happened was, instead yung mga fence-sitters at duda pa sa kanilang pagiging new majority, nagalvanized na when the attack on the Senate happened. So nagiging 12-9-2 na lang yan. Meaning, kasi 23 pa rin yan, 13 pa rin ang kailangan nila na simple majority. Meaning, yung 9 nila, 4 pa rin yung kailangan nila ngayon. Ibigay na natin yung dalawang abstain. That's 11.
Na mapupunta mapupunta sa minority, new minority?
Yan na nga, for them to mount another co para ibalik si Soto.
Sino yung sway na nasa new majority na dalawa?
Kaya nga, ibigay na natin yung abstain, si GB at si Zubiri. That's 9 plus 2, that's 11. Okay, so they need another 2. So sino ngayon of the 12 ang lilipat? Considering what they did sa Senado, na lahat ng mga new minorities left the Senate at around 6 p.m. or earlier, at yung new majority ang hindi nakaalam na may mangyayaring ganun, stayed in the Senate premises. I think past midnight, and Robin around 2:35 in the morning the following day. At nakita ko yung live nung nag-blackout. Si Pia Cayetano talagang gigil at talagang dismayado si Pia. Pia was more emotional than Alan Peter Cayetano was.
Babae, ate, tapos, di ba?
Kuya,
you said a while ago, no? While everyone else was doubting still the newly formed majority, same day, same week, nagalvanize or na-cement yung pagiging majority nila ng mga events na nag-transpire. Tama yung pagmamount ng bagong coup, hindi. Because ang iisipin ngayon ng mga pinabayaan nyo nga kami dito eh.
Exactly.
Willing nga kayong isuko yung isang kasamahan natin eh. Tapos, kayo lang ang niligtas sa barilan na alam pala ninyong magaganap. Tapos, babasagin nyo kaming bagong majority ngayon. So, syempre, hindi ka na ngayon papayag na maka-experience ka ulit ng ano. The presidential sister had to wear her bulletproof vest. Pinasuot sa kanya ng security niya, 'di ba? Makita mo sila naka-hold up sa isang conference room because dapat nga caucus, and then nire-review nila supposedly yung sa impeachment articles, 'di ba? Tapos biglang nakakarinig sila ng gano'n na may barilan. Oh, paano ninyo mababasag ngayon yung tracing yan? Sige nga.
Kasi
And
Pam,
sila yung naging underdog, kuyang.
tama.
Sila
No?
yung odihado sa sitwasyon.
Kasi in the eyes of the senators, no, hindi lang buhay nila or hindi lang yung seguridad nila ang sinakripisyo ng new minority by not informing them of what's going to happen, no? Yung institusyon mismo ang pinabayaan ng mga new minority na yan. The Senate as an institution.
Where
Ano pa
they
yung-
belong.
Tama. At ano pa yung dagdag noon? Hindi nila nirespeto yung Senate as an institution, pero hindi rin nila nirespeto yung kagalang-galangan na Korte Suprema na nagsabi na, nagkomento kayo within 72 hours, essentially giving Bato 6 days para mag-comment. No TRO was issued, but it was implied. It was an implied TRO already because careful yung Supreme Court sa language niya. Kasi co-equal branches of government. Kasi we are now stuck in a constitutional crisis. Okay? Kasi yung three equal branches of government, especially the two, legislative and executive, seemingly on a standoff. Ayaw manghimasok muna ng Korte Suprema, hoping that cooler heads will prevail and respect the implied order of the court. Walang TRO. Kasi baka sabihin, ito namang Supreme Court, kaagad nag-TRO, Duterte talaga to, di ba? So ang ginawa ng Korte Suprema, the court reserves the right to issue orders when necessary. Ibig sabihin, hoy executive, intayin nyo muna yung comment natin ng executive at saka hintayin natin yung comment ni Bato on the reply of the respondent, and then we will decide on the urgent motion or urgent petition. Putang ina, hindi nirespeto ng minority sa Senado, hindi nirespeto ng matibag at ng NBI. Kasi it was an implied status quo anti-order na, oy, ito lang muna. Bakit they had to force their way in?
Oh, well, there's a denial that they did, ha? But anyway, we are supposed to hear yung TRO is due today, kuya. Ay, yung sa Supreme Court, is it due today? Yung 72 hours?
Yeah, 72 hours is 3 days eh.
So, I think this is the third day. Kasi kailan man ang Tuesday? Tuesday, Wednesday.
Na-issue yun na-issue yun kahapon ng gabi ata. Kahapon ng
Kahapon lang, Thursday?
parang ganun.
So, by Monday.
By Monday, oh. And
Okay.
then Bato and his defense counsel has another 72 hours to comment on the reply of the respondent. So essentially, that's 6 days for Bato. 6 or 7 days.
Okay.
8 days including the weekend. So
But is that 6 days for Bato something that will tell everyone na he's already a free man? Or
No.
is he even ever not a free man?
No, he is not yet a free man in the eyes of certain people in the executive and in the eyes of certain Filipinos. Okay? He is not a free man. Yun ang kanila. But in the eyes of other legal personalities, in my eyes, probably in your own eyes as well, he should be a free man and accorded the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty and the right to seek redress under our judicial system. So, ito ngayon, kaya nga sabi ko, this is now a constitutional crisis brewing. pag ito hindi talaga na-address ito, and now, with all due respect to the Supreme Court, even if I'm not a lawyer, dapat maglabas na talaga sila ng definitive ruling na dapat kailangan na talagang ITRO muna para status quo, ma-diffuse yung tension. Kasi iba yung interpretation ng Senado, iba yung interpretation ng NBI, and the only arbiter, the final arbiter of our domestic law and even international law as applied to our country is the Supreme Court.
Okay.
So yun.
Okay. So you said para ma-diffuse yung tension. Was that kind of tension we saw? Hindi nga tension yun, kuyang, action yun. Yung tension is just a feeling. Yung seeing your tension come to fruition na may action, threat na yun, kuyang. Was it even necessary if it's just bato they are after?
Yun na nga eh. Again, why is it that NBI failed to coordinate with the new Senate majority leadership sa Senado when in fact they admitted, and even Soto admitted, I think, that there were prior coordination with the NBI and the previous Senate President and the previous OSAA. Why is it na nung nag-take over na yung bagong majority, wala nang coordination ng NBI? That's one. Number two, anong role ng isang Sonny Trillanes? Diba?
At kuyang, yung role ng isang Sonny Trillanes, naitanong yan kay Matibag at I think sa ANC interview niya, no, he was asked kung anong role ni Trillanes. Alam mo, coming from him na chief bureau, ang sinabi niya is, well, he just wanted to fulfill that challenge daw ni Bato na challenge siya before ni Bato na kung may warrant, edi ikaw magposa sa akin. And it came from the mouth of an official NBI. Now, why would you allow such na kung yabang ng dalawang tao, bakit mo i-fulfill as the authority?
Yun na nga eh. Yun na nga eh. This is now a question of the chain of command, protocols, doctrines, roles of engagement. Napakaraming ginawang violation nito, Pam. At this will go down in our legal history as one of the most discussed legal topics. Kasi number one, unang-una, ano ba yung procedure? As far as I know, you can correct me if I'm wrong. May mga abogado dito na nanonood. Okay. ICC issues a warrant. ICC, walang enforcement arm. They rely on states to implement such a warrant. Okay. Normally, they will course it through the Interpol, which is another treaty, kasama tayo. The Interpol, the international police, no, does not have their own forces spread across the member countries. They rely on local law enforcement as deputized agents of Interpol. And this is where the Philippine Center for Transnational Crimes come in, PCTC, because the PCTC also acts as the National Central Bureau of the Interpol dito sa Pilipinas. So everything related sa Interpol must pass through the PCTC. And then the PCTC will coordinate with our law enforcement agencies. Una na dyan is the DILG, because the DILG handles the NAPOLCOM and the PNP. They can also coordinate with the DOJ, which, again, NBI is under the DOJ. DILG is under the PNP. Pero, unlike doon sa nangyari kay Digong, no? Kasi nung nangyari kay Digong, nandoon si Ambassador Marcos Lacanilao, who was at that time Executive Director of the PCTC. Ngayon, wala tayong nakitang taga-PCTC. Kaya kinestyon nga nila ni Alan Peter, ni na General Aplas, nasaan yung warrant na that has been coursed through with the PCTC? Nasaan yung letter from the PCTC to the NBI ba, to the DOJ ba? Kasi as far as John Vic is concerned, walang letter of coordination, requesting coordination from the PCTC. So therefore, we now have two branches or bureaus of government or two departments, DOJ, kasi under niya yung NBI, and then the PNP denying it. Even Naltatis himself admitted that he has not seen the warrant.
What is this telling us, Kuyang, na yung gaanon kaplanado yung kay PRRD, sabog-sabog sila ngayon kay kay Senator Bato?
Because they never anticipated na lalabas si Bato. They did not anticipate na lalabas si Bato.
Oo. So they saw him and right away on their toes na, okay, let's go there. Walang kagaya nung sinabi ni Remulla dati, John Vic Remulla, na 5 sila nakausap yung presidente na pinagplanuhan lahat. Di ba? Because they know na si PRRD then was parating coming from Hong Kong. Di ba? This time, talagang sorpresa sa kanila si Bato. Pero Kuyang, ang tanong kasi is, nung may leadership shake-up na, sabi ni APC, may number, nandito sa area, si Bato, papasok na siya, nandun ang NBI eh.
Kaya nga sabi ko, natunugan na ng Senate leadership, not the executive. Kaya siguro nag-panic, nag-press ng panic button itong si Soto. Uy, pumunta na kayo NBI, punta kayo Trillanes. Because remember in 2018 ba yun or 2017 when Trillanes' amnesty was revoked, Soto himself, then Senate President, also placed under the Senate custody si Sonny Trillanes for about 3 weeks bago siya nag-surrender on the authority of a domestic warrant issued against him. Magkaiba to. Magkaiba tong So yun,
Okay.
kaya they caught off guard.
So the CIDG on the same day na nagkakagulo said that they pulled out their own subpoena ba yun sa kanya?
Subpoena.
What's your take on that?
Well, unang-una,
Is it the stars aligning for Bato?
actually, it's like yung nauntog ka and you're seeing stars.
Nung sinuntok ako ng kuya ko.
Kasi-
What's your take on that?
My take is, di ba, winidraw ang subpoena?
Yes.
Diba? Winidraw nun. Okay.
Ang CIDG,
Because the withdrawal came after Marcoleta made a manifestation, or was that a collective privilege ba yun? At he highlighted na yung doctrine of complementarity when applying an ICC ruling or a warrant no longer exists because the judicial system in the Philippines has now taken cognizance of the case of Bato. Precisely because there is already a subpoena against him, no, on the AJK, which is actually tied to the crimes of humanity na nakaharap siya doon sa ICC, which now is encompassed by the Domestic Law Republic Act 9851, Section 17, if I'm not mistaken, no? Kasi yun ang lagi nilang sinasabi, we are acting based on the domestic law, crimes against humanity, Republic Act 9851, blah, 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 kaya ganun. Oh, ano ba yung complementarity clause doon sa Rome Statute? Oh, na dapat mag-act lang yung ICC pag unwilling yung Estado na i-prosecute yung isang akusado. Sinupina na si Bato for the same crimes under the domestic law. Meaning to say, nag-kick in na yung jurisdiction ng ating local courts. So,
But
hindi mo na pwedeng i-implement yung ICC kung meron man at kung valid man yan. Kasi gumulong na yung judicial system eh. Kasi sinupina na nga eh. Kasi nga, even if you look at the arguments nila sa Senado, I mean sa ICC, the moment nag-umpisa, even if it's just a situation, kahit hindi na tayo membro, kasi yung nag-kick-in, umpisa yung preliminary investigation daw or whatever they call it sa ICC, covered na tayo. Applying the same logic, covered na rin si Bato sa domestic law when the CIDG issued a subpoena against him. Now, baka natauhan sila doon. Putang ina, tama itong si pambansang si Mangot, no? Nagsalubong na yung kilay sa kaka-highlight. hindi masyadong binigyan ng highlight ito. Oh. So ngayon nakita nila, putang ina, tagilid tayo. Kasi nag-conflict na. May ICC warrant, tapos merong subpoena from CIDG. Oh, di ngayon, anong ginawa?
Pinull out.
Inidraw.
Oo, withdraw. However, I think kuyang nabasa ko lang din naman dyan, si CIDG is willing to correct the mistake or rectify the error. But NBI is willing to go through the mistake just so to prove something. Okay yung winidraw ni CIDG kasi may realization na, nako, mali tayo. Tama si Simangot, tama si Senator Marcoleta. Itama natin to kahit mapahiya na tayo. Bahala na kung anong press release natin ng pag-withdraw. But right away, withdraw it. Because they want to correct the mistake. And they don't want to commit further mistakes or errors along the way na ini-insist nyong active yung subpoena na yan. But NBI, with all the lies, Kuyang, na diba, may live si Matibag, nandito ho kami ngayon sa fellowship namin, na ganito, nandito ho kami sa Sequoia Hotel, dito sa Quezon City, malapit po sa ABS-CBN, puntahan nyo po kami dito, blah, 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 meron kaming planning and all. And then, hours after that, or I think the same, lumalabas naman yung mga videos na may mga NBI na nagbabarena sa GSIS. 'Di ba? Yung sila mismo yung napapatibong sa sarili nilang mga kasinungalingan. Kaysa yung mas pinili nilang gawin na magpaka-humble ba na kagaya ng ginawa ng CIDG. And came Marcos late that night denying with clean hands na sinasabi niyang walang kinalaman ang gobyerno dito.
And it was not even a live, it was just a pre-recorded video.
Correct, Kuya. Your take on the message of the President?
Wala.
Na walang kamay ang gobyerno at we will look into the bottom of all of this. Ibig sabihin...
Again, plausible deniability. Pwede nilang sabihin, sino ba yung nag-asta doon na leader sa operasyon na yun? Trillanes. Parang siya yung nagkukumpas at nag-implement si Matibag. That's called plausible deniability. Marcos can easily say, wala kaming dyan. Wala kaming kinalaman dyan. Trillanes has gone rogue. Matibag has gone rogue. We will sanction him. We will investigate him. Kasi nga, ang tao ko lang dyan is si John Vic. O tingnan nyo, inutusan ko si John Vic. Kasama pa yung Chief PNP. So wala talaga akong kinalaman dyan. Di ba? Pero may kinalaman siya. Utos nila yun.
But NBI is a bureau under
the DOJ.
DOJ is under what branch?
Di Marcos. Executive.
And then his message said na hindi nga niya tinawagan yung kapatid niya, Kuya, ha? Let's emphasize that again. 'Di ba? Yung kapatid mo, alam mong nandun, nakulong sa Senado kung saan may barilan. Hindi mo tinawagan para lang mapanindigan mo na you cut your ties with her. But she's the presidential sister. Ang tinawagan mo, sige, gusto mo presidente, tinawagan mo DILG, NBI. Ano sinabi mo kay NBI? May mga tao ba kayo dyan? And then what did NBI say daw? Said daw, ang sabi is, wala ho kayong order. So, ibig sabihin, you're not denying na ikaw din ang may control at ikaw din ang nagpa-dispatch ng mga tao dyan.
Yan ang tao ang sabi ko, plausible deniability. One hand is doing one thing, the other hand actually is doing another thing. That is why the role of John Vic and the PNP chief Nartates, they are being framed as the good cops, no? Itong si Matibag at si Trillanes, because they are disposable, they can easily be discarded at probably willing din silang ma-discard. Willing willing pawns sa na ito, tinanggap na nila. Baka hindi natin alam ilang maleta na tanggap nila. So,
Okay.
Pero let's be reminded, Pam. Okay, I don't know when this happened, but the Philippine Center for Transnational Crimes, PCTC, when the ICC warrant of Digong was implemented, under Marcos na kanila was still under the office of the President. I saw an article that there was an executive order, ewan ko kung sino nag-issue at kailan in-issue ito, placing the PCTC under the DILG.
Okay. So it's now under John Vic?
Exactly. Kung totoo yung merong executive order talaga. Kasi again, this is plausible deniability. Kasi Marcos Jr. was already questioned during the hearing of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee headed by then or by Senator Amy Marcos. Okay? Meron bang alam ang presidente? Kasi yung PCTC na executive director ka is under the office of direct supervision and control of the office of the president.
Correct.
Kaya, this is just a hunch. Inilipat nila ngayon sa DILG para pag may mangyaring ganito,
Hindi ako yan.
hindi ako yan.
It wasn't me, 'di ba? And because kuyang kasi hindi niya malinis-linis pa rin yung pagkaka-involve niya sa kidnapping ni PRRD because even his office, I think kay Claire naman din ang gagaling to, hindi nila mailabas-labas ngayon even if they promise to do so, na ilalabas nila yung cost nung pagpapacharter ng exclusive private flight kay PRRD from Manila to Hague.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Kasi they admitted that it was chartered by the executive in the office of the president, 'di ba? And now, ano ang laman ng mga ebidensya para sa trial ni PRRD? May letter, remember, may letter si Bongbong sa OVP kay Inday na sinasabing we are not allowing ICC and they have no jurisdiction over the country, blah, blah, blah. We will not entertain, participate, yada, yada. Ganon, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, kasama ka sa mga ebidensya ng dating presidente na pinakidnap mo. Di ba? Kaya ngayon, tama ka, Kuyang, kung totoo yung EO. Pero ba't hindi nabalita yan?
Yan na nga eh. At nasaan ngayon yung executive director? Who is also, I think, a retired Major General. Nasaan ngayon yung executive director ng PCTC?
Oo, ba't hindi nga na-highlight yan?
Bakit si Trillanes? Ano bang role ni Trillanes? Putang inang yung gagong yung barangay tanong na yan. Oo.
Well, that's also the question of everyone here, lalong-lalo na sa comment section at nung mga taong sumuporta sa labas. Okay, Kuyang, can you build me or everyone else listening yung theory surrounding naman doon sa piniling oras ng Secretary General ng House of Representatives na yung gabi ng putukan o bago magputukan, doon niya piniling i-deliver yung articles of impeachment. Meron bang anything? Meron ba silang role? Meron bang distraction na gusto nilang ginawa? Meron bang nangyayari behind the scenes habang ang pinapanood natin itong pangyayari sa Senate? May movement ba ng pera somewhere sa tingin mo? Hindi alam sa tao?
Well, I hate to speculate, but as far as the public statements of Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, they were in a caucus reviewing the rules of procedure at saka yung rules nila pertaining to the impeachment. Kasi nga, sabi nila, nag-communicate yung lower house na ita-transmit ngayong gabi na to ang articles of impeachment. Right? Ngayon, nung in-interview si Osaa, General Aplasca ba yun? Hindi ko na matandaan. Sabi niya, kasi they were putting on their vests, no? Sabi, the articles of impeachment will be transmitted tonight. We are on heightened alert, baka magkagulo. Yan ang sabi. So, yan ang sabi, no? From that remark, no? We can build theories, many different theories as to what happened, whether it was intentional, whether it was coincidence, that we will never know. And only a proper Senate investigation, because this event, this situation needs an impartial inquiry. by the Senate themselves. There should be a special committee as a whole, kasama yung buong Senado,
Mm.
to investigate, because this is no longer a political event. This now questions the integrity of the Senate as an institution. Dapat may managot, dapat imbestigahan.
Kuyang ikinasamayan ng loob kahapon sa press conference ni APC, Alan Peter Cayetano, wherein talaga nagtaas siya ng boses, nagalit. Una, tinatry niya na malumanay niya masagot yung tanong nung reporter. Na ang sabi ng reporter, masasabi niyo po bang attack kung ang USAA naman po ang unang bumaril or
Yan.
nagpaputok, ganyan. And then, makita mo na sa mukha niya, he tried na maging mabait, pero lumabas, sumabog yung dibdib niya. Kasi hinampas niya pa yung podium and all, no? And sinabi niya that NBI has not been truthful to us since day one. Yun ang sabi niya. And what do you expect of an investigation? Di ba, nagkaroon ng ex-deal na ilabas niyo yung mga ahente ko, hindi kami manggugulo. Diyan si Bato. Di ba? Yun yung nagkaroon ng ex-deal. Pero while that was happening, binubugbog yung OSAA member nila.
Tama.
Diba? And then, sinabi, naglabas si Supreme Court na sagot na tungkol sa TRO and all, at ang sinabi, irerespeto yung time frame na truce muna, diba? Ceasefire, truce muna tayo, ganon, no? And then, came, na nakita, sinasabi nila, may mga NBI sa GSIS. Sa next, sa, ano yun, compound yun, kuyang, sa meron.
Yeah.
So, hindi sila nagkakaroon ng kasunduan na gentleman's agreement ba? Di ba? Oh. Now, how do you expect of the investigation to turn kung ganyan? Kasi yun nangyari sa bugbugan sa OSAA and NBI, gagawa daw ng sariling fact-finding committee ang NBI. Ganon din ang Senate, no? So syempre, kung bureau mo ang apektado, your investigations or reports will result to ikaw yung goods. Ikaw yung walang ikaw yung walang dugo sa kamay mo, di ba?
Right.
So, how will an investigation na joint, what will it contribute to this as a result? Sa tingin mo dapat mag-joint investigation o hindi?
Yeah, it should be a committee as a whole, yung Senado. Meaning to say, membro sila ng committee na yun na mag-iimbestiga. Because this no longer concerns just Bato or the majority or the minority. It concerns the Senate as an institution and in the future Senates of the Republic. And kaya nga dito natin kasi, okay, ano ba yung protocol ng rules of engagement pag ikaw ay isang law enforcement agent or sa law enforcement, okay? You see a threat. Okay? When you see a threat, you will issue a verbal warning. Kung hindi nag-heed, kung hindi nakikinig sa iyong verbal warning, and you still perceive that that person or number of persons are still a threat, what do? You fire warning shots. Okay. Now, when you fire warning shots, and then those persons still do not heed your call and in fact engages with you using their own weapons, then you up the ante. You make actions that are far superior to the reply of the perceived threat. Yung tawag na shock and awe. Again, to pin down and threaten the offending party that you consider a threat. And let us remember, yung USAA is not loyal to the Senate President. They are loyal to the Senate and an institution. It just so happened that the institution is being represented by Alan Peter Cayetano as Senate President. That's why they take orders from Alan Peter.
Correct.
And mind you, the doctrine of separation and being co-equal branches of government, ang legislation, ang legislative at yung executive. That's the holiest, that's the only dividing line between a constitutional democracy and an authoritarian government. Because absent that respect of that sanctity of the separation of the three branches of government, we are de facto authoritarian regime already. But they violated it. The holiest. At saka, National Bureau of Investigation, kayo are the most elite bureau of the law enforcement. You're akin to the FBI of in America. You do not investigate petty crimes.
But
You investigate high profile. Yeah, go ahead.
if your bureau is now involved to delivering something na dinodrawing na petty crime, quote unquote, that tarnishes the image and credibility of the said bureau. Diba? At kaya po the following day, yesterday, Amy Marcos wrote a letter to Bongbong Marcos, her brother, the president, asking for the immediate na ma-relieve or resign. Si Matibag and some other NBI is that move formalizing something, or is that move papansinin ng isang Bongbong Marcos?
Okay, unang-una, Amy Marcos is a presidential sister. She is part of the first family. Ang security ni Amy Marcos are not ordinary security.
True.
They are under the Philippine Security Command, PSC, previously known as the Presidential Security Group. Meaning to say, yung security ni Amy has direct contact to the security of Bongbong Marcos, the sitting president. Okay? Now, Amy, writing that letter, was acting not as a presidential sister, but as part of the Senate as an institution. Because she was there. She saw the threat. And in fact, sabi mo nga, she was urged to put on the bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
Because, again, there is an active threat. Okay? So ngayon, ewan ko kung sisigundahan yan at susuportahan yan ng ibang mga miyembro ng Senado. Again, the doctrine of separation or being co-equal branches of government, they cannot dictate upon the executive. Even the president mismo, no, na gawin ito. But it was a plea. No, again, also to diffuse the tension. Kasi these people are now being perceived to be as acting not within the chain of command, and that they are being rogue actors in these events. No, so I do not see if Marcos will act on it, act on that plea or that request, because again, sabi ko nga, ito yung good cop, bad cop eh.
Ako yung iba yung interpretation ko. I think it's kasi si Amy pa outside di Colombo eh. Di ba? Or probably also her decision na lumayo na lang, because sinasabi niya that the brother is surrounded by, di ba, mga demonyo. Di ba? Yun naman ang term niya dati. Nagdasal pa siya, napapaligiran ng mga demonyo, blah blah blah, di ba? I think it's just a creative way for her to connect to the brother. No? Na parang na anong tawag niya yung sa Ilocano, yung kapatid?
Ading.
Oh, ading, sabi siguro gano'n no, ading. Alisin mo na si Matibag. I think it's just a creative way for her to connect to the brother and send him a guidance paano gawin. I think that's still her being an ate. Okay, but the question really here, Kuyang, is this still about Bato de la Rosa? With the show of force na nakita natin, no? Is it still just about Bato de la Rosa's ICC, or is it because of losing control sa Senate ng administration?
Yeah, I agree on the latter. Hindi na ito bato, but losing control in the Senate. But from a bigger perspective, it's more about the survival of the presidency of Bongbong Marcos already. This is now an existential threat on the presidency of Bongbong Marcos. And we now see what's happening right now. People are in a confused state, especially yung legal at constitutional implications dito, no? Kasi this is the first time that it happened. in the history of the Senate and the Republic.
Sa tatay niya walang ganyang eksena, Kuyang?
Wala.
Wala.
Meron doon, I think, kasi naging unicameral yun nung nag-martial law na nga eh. So, di ba? No. But the thing is, ma'am, these events is still happening under the cloud of questions on his mental capacity to govern. Because up until now, we haven't heard
Yes. I
the
was going
reply doon sa order ng Supreme Court na mag-comment sila on the petition for him to undergo hair follicle drug testing. And I would have advised, no, unsolicited advice ito kay Amy Marcos. Siya lang naman din ang nagsabi na adik yung kapatid niya. Dapat doon sa request niya na i-relieve yung mga tao na yun, sinama na niya. Ading, magpa-hair follicle drug test ka na.
uwi na tayo. Di
Uwi na
ba?
tayo.
Walang nag-aalaga sa'yo. And even there, si Amy is very much willing to give a part of her yung contribution niya. Willing niyang sa gobyerno, sa bansa, willing niyang ihinto para alagaan yung kapatid niya. No? Kuya, you mentioned kanina, if it's not about Bato and it's about losing control of the Senate and it's about the survival of the presidency of Bongbong, are you saying that Soto, as then who has the control of the Senate, protecting BBM to still be the president?
Obvious naman yan eh. It's very obvious that they are protecting the Marcos Jr. administration because in protecting Bongbong, they are also protecting themselves. So, it's a quid pro quo. It's a scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, di ba? Yan lang yun.
Okay, now Kuyang, sa last na item natin, no? Exit. The exit of Bato de la Rosa. And yung hindi natin nakikita sa lahat ng ito, or probably nakikita natin pero hindi masyadong na-highlight, a friend stood by him from the start. And that is Robin Padilla.
Right.
Your take on Robin's loyalty to Bato or genuine friendship to Bato, and your take on the exit. How Bato did it, why did he do it, and until when will he be doing this? Because nawagan din naman si APC na mas gusto sana ni APC nandun siya because they need him for the impeachment of VP Sara. Your take on all these three things?
Well, number one,
Robin Padilla.
yung appearance ni Bato, no? Di ba sinabi ko no? Bato already knew na meron ng warrant. Kasi nakita natin, it was already issued November 6 of 2025. Bakit ngayon lang pinili ni Bato na i-risk yung kanyang liberty and appear in the Senate? Na there was a very, very high risk that he will be arrested and prevented from entering the Senate premises. Okay? But he chose to do that, no? Because I think Bato felt na if I am to go down, I must go down with a bang. That if I have to go down, dapat it should matter to the country. It should matter to our advocacy. It should matter sa ating pinaglalaban. And that's apparently what he did. Okay? And Senator Alan Peter Cayetano actually admitted that all along, Bato was in his car. Nung kinall out nga ni Pia si Lacson, doon sa kanyang post insinuating na yung dalawang magkapatid na Cayetano daw ang nakakaalam na si Bato ay nandyan. And in fact, Bato was riding nasa nakasakay doon sa sasakyan ni Pia Cayetano, which doon sa Senate floor nga talaga nag-apologize si Ping, no? Bakit yung insinuation talagang medyo may mali siya do, 'di ba? Nung ginawa. Now ngayon, so it was actually Alan Peter, not Robin, who started and who enabled Bato, no? Which is perfectly legal. Wala namang binayolate si Alan Peter Cayetano unless meron ng batas ngayon na hindi pwedeng sumakay yung isang kapwa mo senador sa iyong sasakyan, di ba? Okay? So that's one. Number two, yung friendship ni alam mo, si Robin kasi iba yung relationship niya with the former President Duterte. Not even Bato, ha? Because again, he was pardoned by PRRD, no? When he ran as an independent. Hindi siya walang slate, wala siyang makinarya, but even then, he won. He won standing on the platform of federalism that until now he supports and fully advocates still yung federalismo. Tapos dahil wala na nga si Presidente Duterte at yung nangyayari ngayon kay Bato is quite similar and in parallel to what happened to former President Duterte, na aminin natin, wala si Robin doon. Di ba? Maraming mga kaalyado ni former President Duterte na wala doon sa scene na yan, no? So maybe ang ginawa ni Robin ngayon is some sort of an atonement, or to ask absolution, maybe not from the Dutertes but for himself, na now I'm doing something which I failed to do during Digong's kidnapping. And that is probably why ganun na lang ang kanyang balik, no?
Yung balik niya sa isang sitwasyon na kapareha pero iba ang player. Ay,
Yes,
iba ang star, oo.
I do not question the genuine friendship between Robin and Bato, but I think it goes well beyond Bato. This is a message to the former president and the supporters of former President Duterte na sorry sa nangyari kay Digong, wala ako noon, pero ngayon dito ako, maninindigan ako.
Oo nga, no? Where was he pala during that time, no? Nung kay PRRD?
We can even ask the same question to Alan Peter Cayetano. Maybe this is also part of that redeeming act on his part, because we know that he was the running mate of President Duterte in 2016. So again, this is I think this is coming full circle. Parang maraming nagkasala dahil wala silang ginawa, a sin of omission on their part na nung nangyari kay PRRD, and they will pull all the stops to prevent a similar thing happening to another Filipino, especially a colleague and a sitting senator of the Republic.
Okay. This is a question I'd like to throw out there na fair ko gagawin, ha. Is Senator Bongo in danger of going through the same scenario na merong ginawa kay Bato? Because, di ba, ang sinasabi naman nila, hindi na yung 5, I think 5 yung sa case build-up nila sa ICC, sa mga... 8 ba? Pero bakit 3 na lang daw sila, si Sen Bato, Sen BG, at may isa pa?
Albayalde, former PNP. Yeah.
Do you think the two are also in danger of going through the same fate na ginawa nila kay Bato? Just because natakasan sila ni Bato, ha? Ang alam mo naman ng mga criminal minds, kuya, kung hindi nakuha ang isa, sasalbahihin ba nila tong dalawa?
Yes.
Kindly expound. Ayokong tambayan because you all know me as a critic of Senator Bato, but now I'm Senator Bongo, but now I'm saying na I wanted to ask the question and be fair about it, because kung titignan kong Pilipino si Bongo at sinasabi ko naninindigan akong hindi deserve ni Bato dahil walang due process, hindi din deserve nung dalawa na gawin sa kanila. Tama.
Yes.
So what is now our message of concern or panawagan na ano ang dapat gawin, pag-iingat nitong dalawa?
Kaya nga, no, dapat silang mag-ingat talaga, no, because yung warrant was issued November 6, 2025. And it's not impossible na may warrant na rin yung dalawang yan. Hindi na lang muna in-implement kasi uunahin nila si Bato. That's why it is important for the Supreme Court to come up with a definitive ruling.
Kasi mag-a-apply yung decision nila kay Bato dito sa dalawa.
Yes.
And sana itong dalawa legally, makapaghanda na rin sila ng mga paperworks nila, di ba?
I hope so. I hope so, and I would even recommend to get Attorney Torion as their lawyer as well, because
he already knows how to do it.
yeah, he has already laid the groundwork and the legal groundwork for a similar case against the two other co-perpetrators, Albayalde and Bongo.
Oo. Gamay na niya. Oo.
Mhm.
So sana hindi, no? Because again, no, Kuyang, yung tanong kasi dito is, tungkol pa ba to kay Bato? Tungkol pa ba to kay Bato? Diba? Kasi this is already about them losing control of everything. Because tama yung may isang comment dito kanina eh. Sabi ko kasi kanina ang tanong ko sa'yo, are the stars aligning for Bato? May sumingit na sabi, it's not for Bato, it's for Inday. Actually, the stars are aligning for Inday. Because tignan mo, with the new takeover of leadership, with the numbers that they have, with the intellect of all these people to interpret the articles of impeachment, it could be not a dead-on arrival, pero an ICU scenario of an impeachment trial. And it is said that they will now convene as an impeachment court by Monday. Tama ba yun? Final ba yun?
Yan ang sabi ni Alan Peter, forthwith, no? Ang take ko naman yan, no, they will not convene as an impeachment court, but then again act on it as a legislative body, as a Senate, refer it to the Committee on Rules. Sinabi yan ni Alan Peter, no. But they can
it's
also,
not that moment we see them in robe.
yan ang tingin ko, ha. Yan ang tingin ko, no. But nung sinabi niya na they will convene as an impeachment court forthwith, no, hindi ko alam, baka they will convene as an impeachment court, but then again refer it to the Senate Committee on Rules, and then maghuhubad na naman sila ng kanilang robe, and then act on it and deliberate on it as a legislative body, no longer as an impeachment court, para lang ma-comply yung forthwith, para lang ma-comply yung hinihiling ng mga diehard Duterte haters na dapat mag-convene kayo, because they can actually do that. They are given enough leeway. Even the House, the lower house, has been given enough leeway by the Supreme Court to formulate their own rules. So what would stop them from convening as an impeachment court and then vote on it to refer it back to the Committee on Rules as a legislative body? And then maghuhubad na sila ng kanilang mga robes, and then they will deliberate as senators, not senator judges.
Is it a well thought of move that they assigned or voted for APC, a lawyer, as the new Senate President in time for the impeachment? Kasi imagine mo, Kuyang, kung anong bulagaan show meron na ang nakaupo dyan si Soto.
Ayun na nga sabi ko, 'di ba, nung ilang buwan na 'yon, nagla-live tayo na yung floating yung pangalan ni Loren, at ang sabi ko, no, it's going to be Alan Peter. 'Di ba? It's going to be. So ngayon si Alan Peter na nga, and it's very very timely because again, he's a brilliant lawyer, no. Pero sa tingin ko nga, no, with all honesty talaga, ang pinakagusto ko talagang Senate President, judging by the way he can run things, and then yung institutional wisdom niya on procedural questions, even their own rules.
Marcoleta?
No, at ang galing mag-articulate, no. Cheese Escudero.
Yes, cheese. Because he already did it the first.
Ang galing talaga. Ang galing. Kung wag mo nang i-attach yung anumang questions or issues against him na personal to him. Tingnan niyo lang how he ran the Senate presidency and how he ran the Senate, especially doon sa impeachment. Ang galing talaga. Ang
galing niyang ginawa kasi nung una. And then I think we will see people shine this Monday and the rest of the week, no. We will see people shine na we can say ito hindi nasayang ang boto dito sa taong to. Diba?
Tama. At yung sinabi ko na napakagaling ni Cheese Escudero, it was validated by the Supreme Court decision.
Yes.
He was vindicated by the Supreme Court because again, during that trial, talagang sabi ko sa sarili ko, kami ni Attorney Erin, putang ina, ang galing ni Cheese.
Because they nag-release sila ng definition ng fourth
Yes.
wheel, 'di ba? At na-vindicate doon si Cheese Escudero. And
Yes.
now we realize how may sinulat ako nasaan? How
Ano?
scary it is for one person to interpret a law incorrectly.
What's that?
It is very scary sa sitwasyon ng bansa ngayon that there's one person who would be interpreting a rule or a law incorrectly. Pwede kang mapako sa isang pagkakamali na hindi mo pala pagkakamali dahil lang mali ang interpretation ng isang taong mambabatas.
Kaya nga kaya nga there are checks and balances na na in place, no? And when questions of laws or constitutionalities and all that, we have the mechanisms, no, to address that. Kasi humans, mga tao lang din tayo, nagkakamali tayo, we have our own biases. So there are instances na talagang, especially yung batas ay ambiguous, no, prone to interpretation, prone to your own personal biases, magkamali ka talaga ng interpretasyon. Marami yan, nangyayari rin sa regional trial court judges, nangyayari yan sa mga piskal during preliminary investigation, finding probable, nangyayari yan talaga. Okay?
Yun na lang unbailable ni Jason
There you go. It's a typo error, di ba? So, was it intentional? I think so. Okay? Now, yung sinabi mo, yung danger. Ang danger dyan is if yung interpretation mo ng batas ipopwersa mo sa isang kapwa mo nasa gobyerno na ka-level mo sa posisyon, isusubo mo at absent a definitive ruling by the highest court of the land, which is the final arbiter of everything sa ating mga batas and even our constitution, ipopwersa mo na kahit nandun pa at nag-uumpukan pa yung mga ating mga mahistrado dyan sa Korte Suprema, ipapasubo mo talaga, ito yung interpretation namin, ito yung tama. Dapat gawin nyo yan. Yan ang danger. Yun ang danger.
Okay.
Pero yung misinterpretation, common yan.
Kaya lang, di ba? You're called a legislator or a lawyer because dapat ang expertise mo batas. Diba? I
don't subscribe to that idea na dapat ang mambabatas ay isa ring abogado. Okay? Because ang paggagawa ng mga batas, no? Madali lang yan because ikaw mambabatas, you can actually hire lawyers. Pero yung intention mo sa paggawa mo ng batas, yun ang importante. And you can only do that if you have the right experience, the right frame of mind. And it is even better na hindi ka abogado. Okay? Kasi abogado, you can pay a lawyer to examine your proposed measures kung ito ba illegal, constitutional. Okay? And then, pag may mga batas dyan at nagde-deliberate, meron ka rin mga makukonsulta ng mga abogado. Can you do legal research dito sa ano? So, again, I have no beef against people na mambabatas pero hindi abogado. Ang beef ko sa kanila, Pam, beef ko sa kanila is when they act as if they are the number one expert on legal interpretation or on legal matters.
Disregarding the fact na the other ones can also be right.
Exactly, just like a Risa Ontiveros. Or a Senator Soto, or a Ping Lacson. Just because nasa posisyon ka na yan, no? Sasabihin mo na, ito tama ako kasi I was the most voted senator, 5 terms na ako. Kaya yung experience ko dyan, kaya magaling ako dyan.
I am ahead of you. I was here first, ganun, no? Okay, last, before we end. Okay. Should the Blue Ribbon Committee start or sign immediately kung sino ang new chairman nila at magsimula ng hearing? And how will it perform given na didinigin din ang impeachment? masiset aside ba ang Blue Ribbon Committee? How important is it? Or ano ang role ng Blue Ribbon Committee sa new leadership ng Senate in exposing finally the corruption of the Bongbong Marcos administration?
This is now the dilemma that they will be in, no? And this is going to be, it's going to get interesting in the coming days, no? As far as I know, they haven't had a time to, kasi sabi ni Alan Peter, they will have a caucus as a whole. Meaning, yung buong Senado, magko-caucus sila to decide on committee chairmanships and vice chairmanships, no? For the meantime, status quo lang muna, yung previous chairman and vice chairman they can even conduct their own hearings, file their reports, no? Para pag naiupo na yung mga bagong chairman and vice chairman or women, meron ng kaagad, no? They can hit the ground running. Yun ang ano ko, no? Pero what is important is, number one, is again to establish a committee as a whole doon sa investigasyon ng what happened to the this is of primal importance, Pam. Set aside muna natin yung BRC na yan. Of primal importance is what happened to the Senate. There should be an investigation, at least, at the very least, no? Committee on Rules, Public Order ba? Pero I think, in my opinion, dapat committee as a whole